Okay, we're going into episode 3 of The Love Experiment. I still am loving the show, okay? So I'm going to do a quick recap of what episode 3 was about. And if y'all not already watching the show, y'all need to go ahead and add it to your little Rolodex, carousel, whatever your like list of shows is, because I feel like it's worth the watch, you know? And also get in the comments below. Let me know, if you have watched it, what do you think? And shout out to Mocha Mima because she is the one that I heard talk about this. I also saw that Kamisha went to the premiere party. One of the guys that's from Dallas had a premiere party and she went to the premiere party because this episode from yesterday was his premiere episode. So y'all go check that out as well. But before I do that, those of you that watch me and my sister talk about Ready to Love, I just want to let y'all know I did get my Thought Job shirt, y'all. So don't judge me. I just like to support. You know what I mean? Nice little comfortable shirt, I will say. Y'all know I love a t-shirt. Okay. But anyway, back to the Love Experiment. This is the elimination episode. So remember I told y'all last video about the Love Experiment that all of the guys have the potential to be up for elimination. So that changes the game. Nobody's safe, okay? But just to recap, Paige and Justin had a date and she asked Justin to stay the night with her. So they start out the episode showing them waking up together. She made it a point to mention that they did not do anything and they just kind of cuddled and they had their first kiss. I'm assuming at the door when he was leaving because that is what they said, but who knows. But they got to know each other a little bit better. But back in so I did confirm that they're all in the same house because when Justin left Paige's room, he ended up going to the guys. They flipped to the guys' room where they were all. Well, it's not a room that they all probably have their own rooms, but they were just like chilling in their. I don't know. I guess I don't want to say apartment, but they were chilling in the space that they had for the men, and they were all talking about the experience, and then they realized that Justin wasn't there, and they were like, he never came back from his date. So they all start talking about that. So then he comes in and he's all smooth with it or whatever. So they're asking questions, especially Paige's other connections are looking like, did she keep her dress on? Like, what happened? He got a little smirk on his face, and it's about to get serious because you got 3 women. They have all the power, and the men are just left to kind of watch, and it's very interesting. So as they're talking about, Justin's night with Paige, her other connection, Chris, is feeling some type of way, rightly so, because who wants to sit there and like hear about the night you just had and we didn't get a night together? So, but then they switch to the women and they show that they're getting a text saying that the hall is going to reopen, okay? And the hall is going to reopen for them to have one last look. And they have to let one person go in order to go back in the hall to get another look though. So, or they can also eliminate all of them and get a whole fresh start. So that is like a nice little twist on this show because you just never know what's going to happen. They could scratch the whole board and be like, I want 3 new ones. So then the men get a text too to let them know that the hall is opening back up. So, they're all paranoid now. Like, oh my goodness, they get to go back into the hall. What the hell? So yeah, so they're all sitting there at this elimination. The 3 women are in front of all 9 guys. And so they just start going down the line. Each woman talks to each of her connections. And they ask questions like, for instance, Tamara has picked a guy named Ryan who really looks like older Macaulay Culkin. And so she asked him, because on that date, they went on that swording date. And they got to talking about kids. And he didn't seem like he wanted kids. And so she picked up on that. And she asked him, does he think that he can raise a mixed kid with the climate that we're in? Racism does exist. So he gave her a great answer. And he, of course he said yes. And then she asked him, do you think I'm too much for you? Can you handle a woman like me? And he gave her another great answer for that. And he started blushing after his answer. So she ended up keeping him, okay? And so then Who else did she talk to? Because, oh, that was the wow but not wow for me. She was the one that had the connection, Kenny, that called her sis. And they didn't start out great, but then they had a date last episode, and she thought that he was amazing. But she ended up sending him home because she said that he triggered something in her that reminded her of the guys in her past that hurt her. So he was salty about it. She was like, can we still be friends? And he was like, I'm not the friend type. So she was just like, all right, whatever. And, you know, he's out of there. I kind of predicted that for Kenny because his attitude just, I don't want to say it was stank, but, you know, he wasn't really open to her dating multiple people because he kept getting salty because he wasn't getting picked. So she sent him home. So Tamara gets to go back to the hall. So then Paige goes through all of her connections and decides that she's not eliminating anybody. She's keeping all three of her connections, okay? And then they go over to Mars, and Mars is like, okay, Mars had the connection with the drunk therapist guy named Terrell. And actually Terrell is a twin, and she had picked both of them initially, but she cut the other one first. But she ended up telling him, that there was no romantic connection, so she sent him home. So now as it stands, Paige doesn't have to go back into the hall, but Tamara and Mars can, okay? So then later that night, like the women, this is one of the reasons why I like the show too, because then they can all go back in and talk about all of their dates, all of the men, and they're all witnessing different things, okay? So Paige goes back in and she realizes, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have kept Preston because Preston doesn't give me butterflies. Now, I don't know if that's a thing for everybody, but like you do like to feel those butterflies, but sometimes the fact that you feel the butterflies doesn't mean anything, So I don't know, but she regretted her decision to keep him. And the next morning she woke up and she went to send him home as well. So Preston was a little bit salty about that because he thought they had a good vibe, but she wasn't feeling the butterflies, so she let him go. However, the fact that she did not cut him the night before, she still can't pick anybody from the hall. So she's left with her top two connections. So then the men find out that Preston got sent home and that all of the women are going back to the hall, okay? And so they're on pins and needles. They're paranoid, but they do realize that every interaction with these women counts because they could be going home next. And I don't know how much time is in between each elimination, but they are in the same house. So it's, it's a lot easier for them to tend to their three connections. So a text comes through to let them know that it's almost time to go to the hall again. But Paige gets a separate text that says that she didn't pick Preston to go home the night before. She picked him in the morning. So she doesn't get to go back, like I said. So she's a little upset about that. But then they bring the relationship expert in, and she talks to them about, the things that they're doing, the things that they're saying, like how they could do better and things like that. Like she's not telling them what to do. They're actually talking to her about the issues that they feel like they have within themselves. Like Paige was like, I don't listen to my gut. And when I don't listen to my gut, I get into situations like this. Now she's like, she can't pick nobody else and she felt bad and all of that. So the relationship expert gives them a little bit of advice, a little pep talk. So then the ladies go back to the hall. Tamara picks another guy named Josiah. Josiah's the one that had the premiere party in Dallas. This was his episode that he got picked, so it was like his premiere episode. And then Mars picked somebody named Ishan. Now, Ishan is he's different. I'll say that. He has like a distinct look about him. I don't know what his nationality is or anything like that, but he definitely came in very confident, okay? When he went back to the room, when they put them into the guys section or whatever, he walked in there with much confidence, like, yes, I'm here, what's up? And so all the guys are like, oh, y'all must be the two new guys, okay? And so the connections are like, who you here for? Who you here for? So, they all start getting to know each other, but all the guys kept it cool. So then later on that night, the girls go over and visit the guys. So it's the three girls and they're with the 9 guys and they're mixing and mingling. They're talking, they're playing pool, they're having drinks. The girls are trying to get to know their connections a little bit better. And so in the midst of that, they have this pool game going on, and Chris is playing pool with Paige. Christopher is playing pool with Paige. And Justin is standing off to the side. Justin is her other connection. Okay, that's the one she spent the night with the night before, and she had a kiss the next morning. Now, in the middle of them playing, Chris wagers something on the game, and obviously it's what all guys wager on those games. It's a kiss, right? Now this is different because if she's gonna take this bet, she's gonna have to kiss him in front of all her other connections. Like, I know they're supposed to be dating multiple people, right? They're dating 3 different dudes, but I don't know. I just would not have felt comfortable kissing this dude in front of my other connections. You know what I mean? But she lost the game, and so she had to make good on her bet, right? And so she kissed him. And when I say she kissed him, kissed him, okay? And Justin was standing right there the whole time looking. And then he was like, oh, well, if that's what she want, you know, he almost said, I'm out. Like, that's kind of how I looked at whatever his response was. But then when they switched back and the other guy, when they switched back, Christopher was like, well, how you feel about it? How you feel about that, Justin? And Justin was like, well, it's about time he caught up. So basically he was just telling him, I already kissed her. You know what I mean? So it's going to be really difficult going into these next couple of episodes because people are going to start to catch feelings, and the guys are being really intentional about trying to get to know these girls. Like, this is my type of show. Okay, I don't know if I would do it, but I like what's going on. So next episode is going to be the girls are going to get to go on a romantic getaway with one of the guys, but something else crazy is going to come out. Mars is saying that there's something that one of Paige's connections needs to come clean about, or she's gonna tell. And that's the good aspect about this, because the friends are there to see stuff that the other person cannot. So I like that. But what the comment was that Justin may have slept with his ex's little sister. Like, that is diabolical. Like, I mean, for him and the sister, like, what in the world? So anyway, like I said, if y'all not watching the show, go ahead and catch up on it on MTV. It comes on Tuesday nights at 10 o'clock, and it's only on the 3rd episode. So get in the comments below if you've been watching that show already. Let me know what you think. Who are you rooting for? I love all the girls. I don't necessarily love all the guys. I like Mars and Chuck. They had a really good connection. I like Tamara and who was her other one? Who was one of her? Dang, I can't remember Tamara's names. Anyway. But I also like Paige and Justin too. So this is about to get crazy because Paige is already feeling both of them, right? So I don't know what's going to happen. It's only episode 3, okay? So it's a lot of moving parts in this one, but I think it's worth a watch. I'm your girl, Demetra Jo, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.